James here from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, bringing you a film breakdown of Florida's offense versus Alabama in the SEC Championship game. As always, if you like the content, like this video, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon, and check out the podcast each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis of the Florida Gators. This, without a doubt, will be the most bittersweet film breakdown I've done all season long, as it marks the end of the 2020 Florida Gators offense, a record-setting unit, one that was amongst the most fun to watch of all time for Florida, and it was certainly a pleasure for me to bring these videos to you. Without further ado, let's take a look at all of the wonderful things Florida put on film against Alabama in this title game, something that we can forever look at and enjoy, not only from a coaching aspect, but also from a fan aspect. Coming into the Alabama game, we had mentioned that Florida needed to attack the outside. Teams had progressively been really bottling up in between the numbers for Florida. They've been overplaying Florida's inside routes, and that Florida needed to attack between the 5 and 15-yard mark with outside routes, and that we expected Alabama to essentially progress the strategies that had been used against Florida. On the very first play of the game, we can see what Bama's going to do and how Florida wants to respond. Right away, we see something rather curious, and this is going to continue throughout this game. I'm going to say that Bama played hubris defense. They largely stayed in their base defense for most of the game. They did switch out and use some strategies teams had used against Florida successfully, but for the large part, they wanted to play what they typically would play, and they trusted their athletes to match up with Florida. You can see this right off the bat as we're going to watch the safety slide to the middle. They are going to play 4-on-3 here. They're expecting pass. However, they're going to allow Florida to play 2-on-2 down here. Now, Florida's been extremely successful all season long if they get even numbers in the passing game. That's why you saw LSU commit to never allowing Florida to have even numbers. Alabama let Florida have even numbers all day long. It's one of the reasons why Florida was so successful in this game. Also, take a look at the routes that Florida's going to run here. We've got an out route, we've got an out route, and then we have a deeper out route. So immediately showing recognition that on film for the past several games, teams have been denying Florida the interior routes, but they've been giving Florida the exterior routes. And you can see Bama's doing the same thing here. They are denying the inside route, but they're giving the outside route. Same thing here as well. So this is good work by Florida. Essentially, it took them several weeks. You've got to imagine that Florida perhaps was not game planning as well or as hard as they should have against other teams, but they've learned their lesson coming into this championship game. And again, it's on display here. Look at all the leverage points. Florida's going to take advantage of needing to throw the ball outside the numbers. Trask, of course, reading this, getting a look that he likes. He does not deliver a perfect pass, perhaps a little nervous early on. And then here it is. So Malik Davis gets the completion. Again, big separation, lots of room, 2-on-2. That's perhaps the most encouraging thing. Right out of the gate, we're 2-on-2 down here. Free safety high off the screen, playing zone here in the middle. Florida would profit from Alabama's defensive scheme all day long. That was very surprising to me to see Alabama again stick more with what I'm going to call their hubris defense rather than apply a lot of the tactical lessons teams had applied and learned playing against Florida. 3rd down and 6 for Florida. We mentioned that Alabama tends to like to send pressure and play man-to-man. Early on in this game, they're going to play zone. They are going to play man, as you're going to see later on 3rd downs. And Florida, we had talked about coming into this game, needed to confuse Alabama's pattern matching. Now, one thing we saw LSU, Kentucky, Tennessee do at times that Bama did not often do was bring their safety down into obvious throw windows, especially to help out on in-breaking routes on Kyle Pitts or Tony. In this case, what you're going to see Alabama do is actually rotate both of their safeties deep. So they're going to play safe here. Florida and Trask loved the intermediate throws. Again, it was surprising to see Alabama do this for portions of the game. You are going to see inside denial technique here, so this does carry over. They had obviously copied most of what Florida had been seeing, and Florida, again, ready here for the counter. You're going to see a nice route combination here with Tony running an out route, and then you're going to see over the top an in route from Grimes. Grimes is the right person to throw this football to. Trask is going to hit Pitts instead on a face cut here, which is a nice face cut. Grimes is going to be wide open, largely because it's going to mess with Alabama's pattern matching up top. They're going to try to get a pass off. You'll see the corner sit on the out route and then point for a pass off here to drop into the zone. There is no safety over the top to help. They're not going to have this. So right here, again, we've got two people paying attention to Tony. Two people playing attention to Tony. And then right there, although you can't see it right at the top of your screen, there's going to be a point here to signal to pass off. They don't. Again, the right throw here actually is Grimes, who's wide open in this box. But instead, we're going to take Pitts, who's going to have a really nice face cut here on the inside leverage. There it is. His defender's turned around. Nothing wrong with this throw. Ball placement's incredible. Obviously, much tougher throw. Much bigger window here, much tougher throw. But Pitts is back. You want to feed him the ball. That's good defense and an even better throw by Kyle Trask. Nice pocket there for him as well. Florida's offensive line was a mixed bag. Of course, DeLance, you'll see on the ground here, continued to struggle, perhaps giving up one of the biggest plays of the game. No surprise to all of you that have been watching these film studies. But early on, 3rd down and 6, Bama chooses to go zone. They choose to play very conservative with 2 high safeties. You can see them coming in here late, and Florida takes advantage. 3rd and 7, this time Alabama's not going to be so soft. They're not going to play zone. They're going to go to what they like to do most often, which is play cover 1 man. Single high safety, man across the board. Florida is going to do what any really good passing team does, and they're going to make this safety basically a spectator. Might as well put him in a chair right here and a little TV set. He can sit and watch the game with us at home because he's not going to play. When you play cover 1, play single high, play against a good athletic team, they're going to try to beat you over here. They're going to try to take one-on-one matchups down the field. They're going to take one-on-one comeback routes, go routes, whatever the case may be. Cover 1 man is a great defense if you're more athletic than them. If they are more athletic than you, you're going to have some problems. Tony's going to simply run an outside go route here. We're going to do the same thing from the slot over here. These are the 2 best vertical routes to run. You're going to take advantage of better matchups than attacking the best corners. And typically, if you're, again, a really good football team and you can go 4 and 5 wide with all guys who can threaten you, this is a profitable strategy. Tony is going to get out of the gate here, and we're going to lose him on the screen for just a second, but he wins this battle. You've seen this replay. He's burnt, right? That's an easy ball from Trask. Easy touchdown from Florida, beating 3rd down and 7. Pressure. Again, this is Bama's desired play. Here it is. Here comes pressure. There it is. Does not get home. This is the key. Florida only needs to hold up at the line of attack just long enough for Trask to get rid of this ball on time, which he does, as he does so well. We can see the pressure and Bama attacking Florida's weakness here. Florida's weakness, the right side of the offensive line. They've done their film study. That's where they send their double blitz to come right here, overload the weak side of the line. It does get through, just quite not in time. And we lose contain there. And Florida scores a touchdown. Tony obviously was a terror for Alabama in the first half, but this was largely because Alabama, again, this is hubris. This is hubris. Florida loves to attack this kind of defense. They've been successful at it all year long. And Bama came out and said, let's see what we can do against them cover 1 man. Florida makes them pay. We said coming into the game that the East-West screen game for Florida could be tough. Alabama will play it aggressively. We showed it on film all season long. Here is Florida coming out in a bunch set. Here's Alabama countering, which Florida would expect them to apply pressure to the top of that bunch. This is good coaching, good play development by Florida, understanding that is likely going to be the case. So they move Tony to the outside of this bunch, which is then going to allow essentially for a double block early on to really push the pressure here back some, and then allowing a secondary block here on the corner. Watch the action as this happens. There it is. There's one. Here's an extra little shove to make sure that we've got what we need here to clear the space. Then a release and a block out here. And that creates a perfect window for Tony to pick up a first down on an east-west screen that Alabama typically would deny really well. So nice piece of play design from Florida. Bama's preferred defense tends to be cover 3. Florida knows this. Everyone else knows this. Now they'll alternate this a lot with cover 1. But if you assume that their cover 1 has been struggling and you're getting them, then it's likely you're going to see cover 3. This is a nice plan from Dan Mullen. Now in theory against cover 3, this play shouldn't work because teams are going to be playing deep. However, with Alabama, as we've also shown on film at length, they're willing in their cover 3 to do what they should do, which is attempt to come downhill more and rob some of these routes. Now, Florida does not often throw a 10 to 12 yard hitch route. So if you're a corner and you've studied your film pretty well, you probably want to give that up a few times before you come downhill on that. They're going to get it right on this side of the field. Florida's actually running stutter goes on both sides. You're not going to see either one of them. You can kind of see it happen right here. Bama's going to stay way on top of that route, so they're good there. The bottom one, though, shorter, is going to absolutely toast his man, and unfortunately, Trask is going to have a throw he wants back. He's got this one all day. Nice, clean pocket there. Just enough time. Gets rid of this pass. Has shorter wide open. CBS will thankfully show us will show us the other angle here. Here it is. You're going to take a look. He's in cover 3. Now, when you're in cover 3, you got to stay on top of any vertical route, right? The safety's in the middle of the field. He has no help to the outside. He just stays on top of this route, and he's going to be good to go here. And he doesn't because of that excellent stutter. And this is a really good route by Shorter. Take a look at how much he's stuttering there. He's really showing a lot of action. He's about to break here, about to break here, about to break here. That's going to get the attention, and then he's going to blow right on pass. So really, really nice play, taking advantage of an aggressive corner. Wide open, easy touchdown. You rarely ever see Trask miss this throw, but sometimes you miss throws. Either way, great recognition by Florida to attempt to attack vertically against Alabama. One of the matchups, that was one of the large reasons why Florida was so successful. We mentioned on the podcast that Florida had 6 completions of 20-plus air yards in this game. They attempted 12 of them. This was one of those failed ones, but again, 6 completions of 20-plus air yards for 3 touchdowns. So they really, really punished Alabama deep. That is a huge evolution for Dan Mullen's offense in the past. He was reticent typically to attack so vertically. We've watched the progression of Florida begin to push their attack points down the field. It was hugely profitable for Florida in this game. 2nd and 10 for Florida. Florida going to get another look they really like here. Again, I was really surprised looking at how Bama plays. So take a look at their safeties. A lot of times Bama would rotate a safety down on this early motion much more aggressively. They're not going to do it. They're going to play passive. They're playing safe early on. They're keeping everything in front of themselves. And that's going to allow a one-on-one matchup here with Pitts, who's going to give a little outside step, then step to the inside. This is a favorite route of Florida to throw. It's a simple slant route. Trask is excellent at it, right on time. Now, these windows are small. This is, of course, Alabama's best corner, their first-round draft pick, Peter Surtain, if I can get that word out correctly there. As a Dolphins fan, I enjoyed watching his dad play for years. But in this case, excellent move here by Pitts. They're giving up the slant on this play. He does close the window some, but the first down for Florida. Again, surprising Bama was willing to let Florida get in these looks, but they were early on, and Florida took advantage of them. It's 2nd down and 10 for Florida. This is a curious thing with Dan Mullen. He tends to want to run the ball a lot on 2nd and long, and sometimes there's reasons to do so because you get a good look to do so. That is the case here, but it has not profited Florida a lot. On the flip side, this game really displayed what we like to call Dan 2.0. He was really leaning into passing way more than running. Forget about balance. Take what's giving you the highest expected yards per completion or per play. It doesn't really matter. Balance is often a misunderstood concept in football, although it is important to be able to do both because that makes you more dynamic. If you're far more profitable doing one thing, you should do that. Florida leaned into that again heavily here. But in this look on 2nd and 10, we motion Tony across. We see his shadow, who was covering him virtually all game, man-to-man with some help at times. And then we have the classic 6-on-6 matchup. Now, coming into the game, we figured Alabama would be content to play even numbers or even down a number against the run. We've seen other teams be more aggressive by putting a conflict defender here. And that's what you're not seeing Bama do. So Bama staying in their 2 high shell, trying to lean towards playing the pass, but essentially, in my opinion, they were sort of just playing it wrong based upon what Florida's put on film all year long, which was, again, shocking. I'm going to keep saying that because one of the hallmarks of Alabama is they get their game planning typically so right. They did not in this game. Now, Florida has everything you want here. You can see the distance. We have 6-on-6. We have a lot of distance between this safety, who is the unblocked man. Florida should be able to get 4 to 5 yards here. But as we've struggled with all year long, we're just going to wind up getting really about nothing. And that's unfortunate. This is a perfectly fine play call. This play call should yield results. It does not. There is a cutback lane here that Florida misses, potentially to get a little bit more. But either way, nothing spectacular here. And this largely comes from the fact that we can't get Reese to move a linebacker further down the line of scrimmage, giving us space to hit this hole. Either way, Alabama wins on this one. And again, it's one of the reasons why I was surprised they weren't more confident doing what other teams had done, moving safeties in the conflict area, playing pass, and then reading run late, because that was very successful against Florida. Either way, a typical 2nd and long scenario where Florida does not pick up a lot of yards, putting Florida in 3rd down and long. All right, it's 3rd and 9. Florida has faced Alabama with Bama playing zone, playing man, playing cover 1, obviously, and then also playing a few others. So now they're going to try what they have seen on film and what they've seen teams do well. We're going to see here the strategy that worked really well against Florida. Here's 3-on-2, and here is 4-on-3, and you're going to see the safeties are now playing aggressively into these windows. We're going to wind up covering against the inside, as you can see here with your leverage on this side. We're going to help the inside here with the safety. This had been very, very successful against Florida, and it's 3rd down and 9. So Alabama now shows, okay, you know what we like to do the most hasn't worked. Let's progress and try something different. So this does show one of the dynamic abilities of Alabama. If you're going to play them on offense and you're going to beat them, they're going to force you to beat a variety of different looks. They're not just going to keep doing the same thing. They're going to make you prove you can beat all the looks, which Florida did on this particular Saturday spectacularly well. One of the counters, one of the questions we asked was, if you're going to go 5 wide, which Florida does here, you're not going to have a running back here. Alabama knows you're not going to run the ball. They know you're not. So there's a couple of counters to this. One, of course, is the QB run, which is Dan Mullen's preferred method. Now let's rewind this. His preferred method is this because you have 5 versus 4 here. That's what Tim Tebow once made a living upon, obviously, in his time. And, of course, college quarterbacks tend to be successful today. Kyle Trask, not much of a running threat, but he can run the ball enough. And in these situations where he's absolutely so good at passing, which we talk about all the time, that even teams with Alabama's talent want to play a strong +2 passing defense against him, you can wind up stealing yards. And then here it is. Now, this is an excellent play call. So if you're watching this live, you're thinking, wow, what a conservative call. But Florida is going to miss this block again here by Reese. Now, Reese has been an okay offensive lineman for Florida. He's just really not quite good enough, especially in matchups like these, to get what you need. Play call's fine, but because Florida misses the block, again, if they don't miss the block here, don't miss this block here, Trask is probably going to get this first down. And the reason he's going to get this first down is Alabama's defenders are too keyed on playing the pass. You only have the free safety here who's looking, and he is accounted for right there by Heggie. And so you can see that gains 4 or 5 yards, but really that should be a first down, and then even more. If we can seal here and knock him out, you've got Trask running here with a blocker. That's an easy first down. It's also one of the reasons why the dream for coordinators like Dan Mullen is having a quarterback who can throw really well and also run it really well, because, of course, you could cause really big headaches for opposing defenses. In reality, it's very, very rare that you would ever get someone who could throw the ball as well as Trask, especially reading, timing, accuracy, and also run extremely well. You tend to get one or the other. In this case, good understanding. This is going to pay dividends for Florida as the game went on. They had a counter to the strategy ready if teams are going to wind up playing this 4-on-3, and as we will see later, this does pay off on this particular play. Alabama wins because they win a 1-on-1 matchup here with the block, and they stop Florida from getting a first down on 3rd and 9. But again, it shows you that Florida had a different plan than what they had at LSU, where they at times just continued to sort of try to face that +2 defense with route combinations that weren't so great without a running back in the backfield. Florida had a different idea against Alabama. 2nd and 10, this is a really aggressive play from Alabama's defense and an actually really good read by them. You're going to see on 2nd and 10, at this point in time, Florida has beaten them vertically already. They're going to take a very aggressive posture. We're going to blitz here through the B gap on the left side. We're going to drop this here into the slant window, and we're going to leave this 2-on-2 with no safety help. There is no safety back here helping on this play. There is no one here. This is essentially a cover 0 look, which is wide open with Pitts here. Now, Florida's not. This is a tendency play by Alabama, right? They're not expecting Florida to expect this coverage. They bring the safety then down aggressively onto the running back coming out. And again, instead of having the linebacker cover him, they exchange him into the zone, dropping on a dig route or a slant route. Now, Florida all the way is attempting really to just hit this little flare. This is a play Florida is calling. That's why Trask is not making a read. They get caught. This is the proper defensive play called by Alabama. One of the most encouraging things from Florida in this game was that Florida's offense athletically was not only able to handle Alabama, they were able to excel. And that's why we thought Florida had a championship caliber offense. They, in fact, proved it in this game. They certainly did. Here's Malik Davis catching a pass. He's in trouble. He should lose 3 to 4 yards. We take a bad tackling angle here. Quick move by Malik. And a loss of 4 or 5 turns into a first down from Florida. Those are huge conversions in a game like this, and Florida was able to make plays individually and athletically all game long. Florida empties it out again, which again is going to signal that we're going to pass. There's no run threat here outside from Trask. This time you see Bama leave the linebackers here. This is not a play where Trask could run the football. Linebackers are here. Trask is not going to get enough time to read much. He wants to throw this slant route here, We see Alabama. We see the pass off. Here it comes. Going to call in and in, or slant, slant, slant. That's going to let the linebacker know to slide more into this window and compress it. Trask sees that, doesn't like the throw. Doesn't like the throw here to Naquan. So instead is going to want to climb, but we see Reese is beat, and he's beat quickly. Again, Florida's right side of the offensive line has been a problem all season long. The left side was very, very good in this game for the most part. You're going to continually see that. And the right side, of course, was not. DeLance has primarily been the issue. Reese has had his moments, but that right side has caused Florida problems, and this is Will Alexander. We highlighted him coming into the game. He caused Florida all sorts of problems. He causes everyone problems. Excellent pass rusher. Trask steps up. Then DeLance, of course, loses contain on his guy, and then we're going to get sacked. Now, in reality, the only throw Trask really has here is this short hitch route on the left side. He has no chance to come across. Now, if we hold up here, he could look here, I don't like this pass, and then begin to make his reads across the field and potentially locate that hitch. No way there, and that play is dead. Either way, Alabama on this one, again, rushing 4, dropping 7 into coverage, and then overplaying the inside. Take a look at our leverage points here, making sure that we're funneling everything into the inside, and Florida obliges on this one. So this is what we were used to seeing, had been seeing. Pre-snap, Trask thought he may have had what he got earlier, which is a one-on-one with no linebacker help or some pressure. Alabama's showing as this game goes on, the little cat and mouse game, the game theory game of what do I think you're going to do, what do I think I'm going to do, and Bama wins on this play. 2nd and 12, we mentioned earlier that Florida likes to run the ball quite a bit on 2nd and long. Now we're going to bring the running back in here. 2nd and 12, we're going to threaten a potential run. That's nice. That's what you want to do, especially if you want to pass the ball. Bama lined up 4-on-3 on this side, and right now it's 1-on-1, potentially 2-on-1. He's the conflict defender if you're going to read this out as a quarterback. So we've got 6 in the box for Bama, and we have 5 blocking here for Florida. This is not a good play to run the football on. This is not when you want to run the football. Florida's thinking perhaps they think we're going to pass it, and they will be bailing out here in zone. They're not this time. In fact, Bama is expecting run. They're going to fill this gap right here, expecting not only run, but a weak side run. They get exactly what they think they're going to get, and they get a stop. So nice play by Bama. That's 2 in a row for Bama, putting Florida in 3rd and long. Florida had been very successful to this point in the game, converting on 3rd down and long. Let's see what they do here. Again, they leave it empty. This tells Bama they're only passing. Is Trask going to try to run Florida here? Potentially, he could. So this time we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to bring some delayed action. Take a look at the lineup here from Bama. We actually have 2 coming right off the line right away, and then a delayed 2 more. That's going to allow these defenders to read if Trask wants to run and shut that down. So the game theory leveling game is well in hand. Bama then is going to counter as well by making sure that Tony on this motion is accounted for here. There it is, and we're going to seal off the inside here and then have our linebacker flow with this motion as well so that we have a numbers game. Safeties here you can't see, to make sure we're +1 in case Florida wants to do exactly what they do, which is run an east-west screen. That's accounted for very, very nicely. That's 3 plays in a row where Alabama really had a good beat on what Florida was doing. And I'm sure when they went off the field at this point in time, they potentially felt like they were starting to get a feel for how Florida wanted to operate. That would, of course, be incorrect. It's Florida's next play after they had just been stopped. It's been quite a bit of actual game time since they've had the football. And now they're in the position of check, about to be checkmated down 28-10. They need to have a drive, and they're going to come out aggressively against Alabama. We'll motion Tony over. Now, we had been seeing this shadow happen. Now it does not happen. We get a pass off. We get a pass off here. Florida likes this matchup, and they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to get a cover 3 here against Alabama. Now, by that simple pass off, it doesn't mean that Alabama is going to play man or zone, of course. They can exchange those things rather readily. That's one of the reasons why Nick Saban's defense has to be read post-snap. But it does give you a better idea. Perhaps they're going to play zone here. Florida likes the pre-snap look. Trask then going to confirm it by checking this single high safety, which he's doing now. He sees he's there. At this point in time, he knows for sure he probably has cover 3 based upon the depth that you see early on. Pre-snap read would be cover 3. Post-snap read by watching the free safety is cover 3. Now he knows he needs to hit this seam throw to Tony, which is the throw that will be open against a cover 3. And there it is, an absolutely perfectly placed ball. Again, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. These are the places in the cover 3 that are going to be open. Timing, accuracy, absolutely perfect. Trask does it as well as anyone in college can do it. The question for Trask in the NFL is these kind of windows will be smaller. They'll be smaller. Does he have the arm talent? Does he have the arm strength to be able to make those throws consistently? He certainly can read it correctly. He absolutely can time it right, and he has the accuracy. So whether or not in the NFL he'll be able to duplicate this will have everything to do with the velocity he's throwing the football with. In college, of course, he routinely hits these kind of gaps. Very few quarterbacks can precisely hit this as often as he does. Excellent play, excellent pass, great pre-snap and post-snap recognition. It's now the very next play, and Bama's going to come out giving Florida a look that they like. Take a look at this. We're 3-on-3. Florida loves this look. They'll live with this look all day long. Other teams had been doing this. They've been moving their linebacker here to be a conflict defender, basically taking away any hitch route, any quick slant route, and also then allowing them to come down on the run because Florida's run game is weak. Again, very surprising to me that Alabama wasn't doing the same thing, and they're going to pay the price here. Instead of lining up there and making sure this space is taken away by your formation or your pre-snap alignment, they don't. This allows Trask to know that he has this window. This linebacker cannot get over there in time. He's not going to be able to defend this hitch. There it is, a nice casual zone route. Very, very simple, easy 7 or 8 yards for Florida. Again, really surprising Alabama chose to do the things they did in this game. It's fortunate for them they won. They would have been asking a lot of questions about why they defended the way they did. But Florida, again, playing the cat and mouse game. They had just been stopped the drive before, feeling out what Bama wants to do, applying pressure to the areas that Bama was giving them. Excellent work by Florida. And again, it's why they are a championship level offense. It's not easy to do this against a Nick Saban coach defense. 2nd and 10 for Florida. They're going to get yet another look they like. Here, 4-on-3. That's a no-go. However, here, 1-on-1, safety's high in the middle. We feel like we have Tony at running back. Now we feel like we can run a set of routes to this side of the field and that we can be 2v2. This is the pre-snap read, and it's also the play. That's going to be correct. What had teams done in the past? They had slid him further over here, potentially even splitting these two to play a much more dedicated 3-on-2. Bama's not going to do that. They're going to keep a single high safety in the middle, and they're going to zone that left side. And on this side, they're going to play man, and Tony is going to win this battle. Again, this is an absolutely beautiful throw. There's a reason why Bama will live with this is they have talent. Here's their number 1 corner versus Pitts. Here's the matchup they liked or wanted against Tony. And this is just tough when you got players making plays like this. Tony is going to look like he's going to run a flat route. He's then going to turn it up the field. This is still going to be good coverage. An excellent ball. Take a look at this pass from Trask. He throws it at the exact right time as soon as he sees him turn around. Ball's out. Ball's in the hands of Tony. Then Tony perhaps gets quite fortunate here. This is not a fumble. Extremely close to potentially being one. Fortunate for Florida, but a really excellent pass and great timing by Trask. CBS will give you a second look here of this after a million fumbles. Or they won't. So I'll give you one more look this way. Regardless, here it is one more time. Again, pre-snap read, 4-on-3. We don't want to go there. We do want to go here. Clear out route from Pitts, which will bring the safety with him. We know we're operating 1-on-1 here. We'll take the matchup. Trask has to deliver this ball at the exact right time. And as soon as Tony, right here on your screen, as soon as he sees he's facing here, Tony has the inside. Take a look at Trask. Look at the timing here. Ball comes out right away, right on time. Excellent, very high level throw. What halftime adjustments would Alabama make? Well, Florida wants to see, so we're going to start by moving Tony here. And now we're going to get the more traditional Alabama defense where they like to bring strong safety or the free safety down to match up on Tony. And Florida, again, is going to get a look they like. They know. Take a look at the safety in the middle of the field. Look at this. We're 2-on-2 here, and we're also 2-on-2 down here. This is a look that Florida likes. Florida wants to operate out of this look. Here we go. Trask confirms. ID the safety. Okay, single high safety. He dropped off here. I know I have 2-on-2 on either side. Now I need to see what I like. And although you can't see it on the screen here, you're going to get a really nice route from Copeland, which is going to set in between this 2-on-2. Sits right in between here. There he is. So Florida high load this. Here's the low part with Pierce. And there's the high with Copeland. Just 2-on-1ing this flat defender right here, taking advantage of how Alabama wants to play that defense. and picking up a first down right out of the gate in the third quarter. Florida driving now out of the third quarter, needing to score. If you listen to the podcast, we spent an enormous amount of time talking about the end of the first half clock management, and we spent a lot of time talking about the end of the second half clock management. You can tune in for those thoughts there. They stay out of these film reviews because these are just to review the plays themselves. So we don't have enough space to do all of the tactical and strategic coaching decisions that we do on the podcast. So catch that if you want to hear what we thought about that. But as we're driving, Bama pre-snap, again here's our tight end, right? There's Pitts. So they're going to have a 4-on-3 situation here. Take a look at it post-snap. There it is. They quickly move into the 4-on-3. Now Florida knows, taking the inside strategy, take a look at what they're doing here. They're going to take away the inside of the field. We don't want this. So what can you do? Well, Grimes, who we've highlighted all season long, tends to have safeties helping at him over the top almost all the time. And for good reason, because if you don't do that, Grimes can beat you. So Florida's going to take their shot now knowing that Alabama has begun to play their safeties much further inside. There it is. Take a look. This is Surtain, right? This is, again, their best corner. A little stutter goes. Same thing. There's the stutter. Surtain stays with it. This is why he's an NFL corner. Take a look at the move he stays with here. He's right on top, stays on top of the route. He's still on top of this route. Grimes takes off. He is in absolutely great position. I mean, this is perfect. Again, if you're coaching this and you're a corner, you can't do any better than that. That's absolutely perfect. Grimes going to do what all good receivers do, push off right here. A little bit of manipulation. It's tough to be a DB. Look, the reality is they're going to give you this. And is that fair? No, not really. If you push off on him like that, you're probably going to get called. But all the best receivers, just when they're going up, give you just a little nudge because that throws Surtain's momentum off this way. And now he can't jump and get the ball, right? Take a look. Little shove, just a little bit, just to clear some space. Again, nothing wrong with that. That happens on every single play. It's just the life of being a DB. This is a perfectly placed ball, and that's what we should look at. The timing between Grimes and Trask here is perfect. I mean, this is absolutely great coverage. You can't say it enough again. It's one-on-one. Grimes then does what all great receivers do. Get up and peek this football. Catch it with your hands. Be the first up in the air. Most aggressive to the ball. Surtain doesn't even jump at this point in time. Then by the time that Surtain turns around, we're going to see that Grimes is going to leave him in the dust. There he goes. Touchdown. This is some high level stuff. Florida displaying a lot of NFL talent on their offense. This is as good as it gets. A one-on-one matchup. Bama's in the right defense here. They're going to take that chance. And Grimes not having safety help over the top gets to make them pay. Again, we have highlighted it all year long. Grimes has been in one of the tougher spots for production because teams do not want to let him go one-on-one, and this is one of the major reasons why. Florida now gets a stop on defense, momentum really building for the Gators, and they're going to keep leaning into this with their offensive play calling. We're going to motion Tony out here. Tony immediately going to have a 2-on-1 situation against him, so we know we're not going to go there. Then Florida's going to actually just run some clear out routes to pull the corner and the safety to leave what we're going to call the Georgia beater, the one-on-one real route here. What Florida does so well, linebacker versus running back, hadn't done it really yet, and that's a touchdown. Again, this is an excellent holding penalty here. It's exactly what you want to do if you're a linebacker. Do not let the team score a touchdown on you if you're beat. Suck up your pride. Stop that touchdown by holding, which is what they do. That is going to be a touchdown by Florida and Malik Davis. Instead, Dylan Moses gets the hold there. He's beat badly. Excellent play call by Florida, clearing out the top, giving all the space for Malik. And what should have been a big play becomes instead just a first down, but excellent work by Florida. Davis letting him know, that's right, I got you, which he did, in fact. Great work by Florida. 2nd and 13, Alabama now in the second half has started to switch their tactics. Notice there are 3 down linemen. They're going to be dropping 8. They're going to add an extra defender into the pass game because what they've been doing with their front 4 has not been working. So like we mentioned, good defenses are going to all game long attempt to try different tactics to see if they can stop you. They're not just going to keep running the same thing. Alabama is going to move into this. Florida has had plenty of time to think about how to counter this, largely because they've struggled against it for large stretches of the year. Now they think they're going to Tony. That's not what's going to happen. Instead, Florida is going to counter here with a QB run. Now this should have been a big play for Florida. This should have been a big play for Florida. And this again is why sometimes you have to get things right with every single player. Florida actually blocks this extremely well. Take a look here. We got Stone setting a block here. We have a perfect channel for Trask to run through. Trask should easily be gaining 8 or 9 yards on this play. Absolutely no problem. I can't show you the other angle, but on the All-22, you can see clear as day from this end zone camera that this is wide open. And you can see it here with my illustration. Instead, for some inexplicable reason, Trask chooses to go this way, which is not the way he needs to be going. He has no blockers there, and he denies himself the yards he should have gotten. So this, in effect, is actually a really good play call. On 2nd and 13, when a team is probably going to be dropping 8 on you, which is what Bama was going to do, you catch them, you wind up running a really nice, really nicely designed run play, which creates a really solid hole for you to run through. Take a look at this. And that's going to wind up being, again, a chance for a really good play through here. And unfortunately for Florida, they missed this. Again, it's why I love football. Football requires all 11 guys to be on the same page doing the right thing at the right time. That is what it takes to win championships. Florida misses it here. But if you were thinking this was a bad call on 2nd and 13, it definitely was not. This was, in fact, a very good call by Florida. They just were unable, unfortunately, to hit the right hole, and it left them in 3rd and long. 3rd and 9 for Florida. Bama, again, showing they're going to drop 8. They're going to play more into pass coverage. Let's see how Florida deals with this. We're going to keep the running back here. I like this. Let's at least threaten that we could potentially run the ball. We're not going to use any kind of play action here, so I don't love that. But Florida does have a very good play on here, and Trask is just not going to hit it. We have Tony running an out route, which is the right thing to do because teams are not really covering Florida's out routes. We don't run them a lot. I do happen to think it's a throw that Trask may not love to throw. On film, it's one of the few throws we rarely see him make, and there probably is something to that. But either way, this is one here. You can see that Tony is, in fact, open. We're also basically having a runoff block, if you will. We're running a go route, but we're really making a lot of contact here to clear out this space for Tony to catch this out route and get a first down. Now, he has this first down. Trask is looking at him. Take a look here. Trask is looking at him, and in fact, it looks like he's going to throw it to him, and for some reason, he pulls it down. Take a look. There is no reason to pull this down. This is here. This is here. There's no risk. No one's coming down on this route. The safety that's covering Tony is off your screen coming downhill. He's nowhere near this throw. We'll never know why. Trask sees something there he doesn't like, then tries to flick it to Malik almost as a pick. Ugly play on 3rd and 9. So Bama wins by dropping 8. So Florida at this point in time should expect next time they get the ball that Bama will probably stick with such a strategy because they just got to stop. And again, here they had one. Florida has this, just a miss. So good play call, bad execution. 2 plays in a row for Florida. Florida's defense gets another stop. The game now really starting to crank up in intensity. Florida having to face the drop 8 defense. Here it is, 1st down and 10. They know it's coming. Now let's see how they counter it. Now, this is going to be nice. Bama, again, I think is doing this rather inefficiently or ineffectively. I'd much rather see them sit here in this conflict defender lane, as we've seen so many other teams do. They're not going to do that. This is great news for Florida because it's going to open up space for them. Again, take a look here. They're going to drop back into much more of a traditional zone look rather than spreading out those zone defenders. And that is going to allow Florida to just run a simple sit route here from the outside of the bunch. There it is. Simple sit route there. That's going to pick up what should have been 5 yards by Copeland. Instead, Florida's going to lose a bunch of yards and then get very fortunate to not fumble this football. So play design here, also good. There it is. Just sit down, take your 5 yards. Kind of unlucky to get driven back. Execution leads to a negative play, essentially. So this is now 3 plays in a row where Florida's execution has been quite subpar. Bama probably starting to feel pretty good about themselves. Florida needing to get a drive going. 3rd and 17 now for Florida. The drop 8 strategy is looking really good for Bama. So good that they're going to do something they would almost never do in this situation. Bama loves to bring pressure on 3rd down and long. They like to play man. In the very least, they could play zone behind bringing pressure, but they're going to say, hey, you know what? We think we got something that's working. Can't fault them for that. It's 3rd and 17. We're just going to drop 8 again. Let's just drop 8 and rush our 3 and see what Trask and the boys do. Trask is going to do something that Trask does, which is why, again, it's, in my opinion, such a shame that he's not going to be your Heisman winner. Such a shame that he was ranked the 2nd best quarterback in the SEC. I just think that's patently false, given what he's had to do and how he's done it. Perhaps I'm biased, but I think the film does not lie. The level of things that Trask commands and does on the football field are far superior to what Mac Jones does. That's just the reality. Mac Jones is on a better football team. That's also just the reality. Either way, Trask is going to pump. That little pump right there, pay attention to this. This pump fake is going to be everything. That little pump is what allows this throw to happen. By pumping, he slid this linebacker over just a half step, which created this window for Trask to deliver the ball on 3rd and 17 against Bama's defense. Take a look at this window throw. Again, another reason why I think Trask could be very successful in the NFL. These windows will be smaller. They're not going to be as big. That's going to be the question for him. But his understanding of the game, his timing, his accuracy are top notch. So we'll see how well that translates. Florida converts this 3rd down and 17, a major pickup at this point in the game. And Bama then has to ask new questions about whether they want to just run a 3-man front, as you can see here. Take a look at this throw. Again, one more time, just look at the pump. I want you to watch the pump fake here and take a look at this zone defender. That's what you want to key on. Take a look. Little pump, there it is. That's all it takes. Now you're thinking that's not much, but that's all it takes. That little pump is going to move him over. There he goes. Take a look at that to create this window. That is some high level quarterbacking. Whoop, little pump. Create it, step up, put it in the gap. Absolutely high level stuff. Stepping up into the pocket, pump, climb, not a lot of space to throw this football. Right where it needs to be for the first down. That's just top level quarterbacking. Bama comes out, staying with for that first down. Their drop 8 coverage, they figure, hey, that was a nice play. That's a fluke. Let's stick with this. Let's make them beat this for a score. Florida going to counter here. Little play action, just a little one. Little play action, hold the linebacker. He's responsible for the running back. That's where he's going to go. And Grimes is just going to run basically an over route here, and he's going to beat bracket coverage. I mean, they're covering this exactly how they want to. There's a safety off your screen up top that you can't see. We're underneath on the inside here, and Grimes is going to just take this route, and Trask is going to throw an absolute perfect pass again right in here. I suppose it could be just a skosh more in front of Grimes, but in reality, that's nearly perfect into the bracket. Take a look at the bracket coverage here. Here's your underneath defender. He had inside leverage, right? So he was facing this way, preventing the inside pass. He's designed to stop that route, yet he still doesn't. Safety is over the top trying to stop that route. That's just again, the accuracy and timing of that pass. That's good defense by Alabama. They're in the right look. They're in the right play. And Grimes just uses his athleticism to get just the window of separation he needs. And Trask puts the ball at the exact right time in the exact right place for yet another first down. We asked questions of Florida. If teams are going to play this defense, whether they're going to play a 3-man front, in this case, Bama only showing 2 down linemen here. We saw Kentucky do this a lot against Florida. How are they going to handle it? What are they going to do? What's the counter? Because Florida struggled with this. Florida struggled with this pretty mightily. Notice here, of course, we have 4 on 3. 4 on 3. We're going to trap the inside. See how we're sealing that off there? Trap ball, the most likely throws for Florida. This is a good situation for Florida to run the football. Notice how Alabama's defenders are all off the line of scrimmage, too high. They are playing max pass defense right now. We should be able to generate a run. Tony is in the backfield. Florida, in fact, does block this very well. Tony has a huge hole right here, and we're all blocked up with the weak side linebacker trapped. This should have been a good run play for Florida, and it's not going to be one because Tony inexplicably chooses to go out here. That's not where the play is designed to go. Not where it's designed to go. It's absolutely designed to go right here. He does not hit it there in between the tackle and the guard. Instead, he takes it off tackle to the outside, and that play winds up only being a couple of yards. Again, if he hits the right hole, and we've seen Florida do this a couple of times on film, this play's good. He's off here, and he's one-on-one. He's one-on-one versus the safety. Instead, it just becomes a couple of yards. So it's first and 10. It's a good play call. Florida should have resulted in more on their running game, but they are showing an understanding in this game of how they need to attack teams dropping 8, whereas before they were often comfortable just throwing without a lot of help, so to speak, with play design to best attack teams that are going to drop 8 against them. 2nd and 8, Bama not altering their strategy. Florida says, okay, if you still expect us to pass, we'll bring Rick Wells on a little motion, which really you feel like you could just leave him unguarded with how little Florida's used him. But you got to honor that, right? And because of that, you're going to get a nice run here from Naquan, which is going to put Florida in a 3rd and short. Again, if you want to play a drop 8 coverage, let's take a look here. Just watch the defenders in the box. Do they expect run or do they expect pass? Take a look at their first movements, right? We're expecting pass. We're coming potentially this way off the line of scrimmage, right? We're not coming downhill at all. We're not being as aggressive. We only are here. We're really playing the pass, and that's what allows Florida to pick up more yards here. There's enough passivity from Bama's defense there that Florida can take advantage with the run game. Now, Florida did not run the ball well in this game at all. held really to less than 60 yards of rushing offense. But when they needed to run the ball, they were able to do so because of their pass game, something we thought Florida was going to do better this year. When you have such a prolific pass game, you should be able to run the football better than Florida was. It was a big disappointment. But on this play again, take a look at Bama, 3rd and 2. We've seen them in previous film breakdowns far more aggressive towards the line of scrimmage. They are not. They're playing very, very passive. In fact, we are really waiting for a pass. They're still potentially expecting a pass here. Mullen's going to take his preferred route, the safest route, which is take that QB run. Trask does a nice job converting this first down. Very simple, very safe, and again, taking advantage of the fact that Bama is loading up for the pass. All right, Florida driving, Bama undeterred. Here we are again, 3 down linemen. They're basically at this point in time betting Florida's just not going to run the ball enough. Now, here's something interesting. This is why I like to keep a player back here. Florida now in the empty set. Bama is going to counter that by leaving a linebacker, as we mentioned before, hanging out off the field here to make sure Trask doesn't attempt to run. Now, Florida could have run the quarterback again here. Instead, they're going to face a defense that's going to be tricky for them. Here's your 4-on-3 on this side, and then here is your 3-on-2 plus an additional defender here. Really, your 4-on-2 on that side. There is nothing favorable about passing into this front at all for Florida. Bama's going to immediately drop back with no threat of run. Notice the linebackers are dropping back right away. No threat of run, nothing to worry about here. Again, they'll give Trask these little 3-yard runs if they want. Florida probably could have taken it here. Florida trying to pass. There's just no place to go with this football. Everything's bracketed out, and Trask simply throws it away. 3rd and 4 now for Florida. We're going to motion Grimes across. Again, we're going to leave this as an empty set. Empty set, no threat of run. We're going to see how Bama handles this. This is 3rd and short. You should be thinking, if you're a Florida fan, this is a likely QB run spot, especially when Alabama, again, is playing very passive. This is because of how good Kyle Trask is at passing the football. You would not see this very often. They're going to play 2-on-1 on Pitts, which for sure Florida knows then is going to leave 5-on-4 or 5-on-5. Florida only needs to hit the right hold here to convert this. Now, pre-snap, they love this, right? Pre-snap, now it's great. Bama wants to keep their integrity over here, so they want to play 5 versus Florida's 4, which is why Florida is stacking the formation this way. They know that teams are not going to let Pitts go 1-on-1. This is an excellent and well-designed play, and it's also just so simple. Take a look at where he's facing because Florida is so good at attacking the inside, he's going to not even look at the line of scrimmage. This is a season's worth of game film. It's a season's worth of doing excellent stuff in the pass game that lets you in the championship game simply take this snap and run for the first down. That does not happen in a vacuum. That happens based upon a season, again, of super successful passing, something Florida fans should not take for granted. It will not be that easy for all Florida quarterbacks to convert on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, unless their passing game is stellar. We saw LSU do this to Florida last week, and Florida, very surprisingly to me, didn't seem to have any good answers for it, largely because it seems like if you had to guess, and you never really want to guess, that's why film is great. You don't have to guess for the most part. You want to guess that Florida perhaps is not giving a full effort into preparing for LSU, despite what anyone may tell you. Here, Bama's going to do the same thing. They're going to say, look, we're not going to let you throw this slant route. We're going to commit an extra pass defender into this lane, and we're going to do the same thing here. So by doing that, they're essentially begging Florida to run the football. Go ahead and run the football. We don't think that you can do it. Florida must run the football here, and they must be able to score, and they are going to do so. Nice patience there by Naquan. Good feet. Walks in the end zone for an easy touchdown. Again, all of this earned by Florida's excellent passing game. Bama just scores, pushing it to plus 11 for them. It's not 2nd and 1, it's 1st and 10. CBS has this wrong, and Bama is going to come out on a Tony motion. Take a look here. We're 3v2. There's 3v2, and on this side, as Pitts goes out, we are also going to be 3v2. Wait for a minute. There it is. Here's 2, and there's a safety right over the top. So Bama expecting pass on this play. They're going to get past. Florida is going to run a play action. It's not going to matter because Alabama does not think Florida is going to run the football here. Again, this is one of the problems of being a team that can't run the ball well when they should easily be able to run the ball. And this kind of look pre-snap. Let's look at the numbers in the box again. Florida's hat-on-hat football here with Pitts. They could run or pass, And even when Pitts goes out, they're hat-on-hat football. It's a really good running situation if you're a good running football team. It's an excellent running situation. Florida has proven just not to be. Again, one of the big disappointments of this season. Trask is going to come off taking a look to the left, recognizing he's 3-on-2 over here, so that's dead. He's then going to want to pull around to the right and take a look at Pitts, who is bracket coverage with a safety. And the defender you just saw on the inside, he's dead as well, and we've got nothing. And of course, predictable targets of the offensive line here on the right side. Here comes DeLance, a guy who continues to play, despite all of these film studies showing that he really should not be, going up against Will Alexander, Alabama's best defensive lineman, best pass rusher, and he's beat. And there he goes, and there's the fumble, and that obviously significantly changes the game. Again, this is not to pick on DeLance. At this point in time, there's just nothing else you can say. The coaches should not be playing him. They're still playing him. It's quite unfortunate. Although we did not highlight it earlier in this game, there was a drive Florida scored a touchdown in, which DeLance was not in, and then DeLance came back in. The pass protection on film thus far this season when DeLance is not in is better. There's no other way to say it. It's just better, and it's better based upon the film. And this is a sore spot. It's frustrating. There's no good answers to this question. It would certainly be great if Hevesy or Dan Mullen would come out one day and say, this is why we're doing it, despite what the film says, because it continues to cost Florida dearly. This is the SEC title game. It's in the fourth quarter. You're in a competitive game with Alabama, and your right tackle gets beat one-on-one, as he's gotten beat so long, all season long. Reese, of course, also over here getting pushed all the way back into the quarterback. Meanwhile, the left side is doing what they've been doing. They've been very solid in this football game. This is just so unfortunate. This play should be simply a throwaway, or even just Trask, kind of coming up here and taking a yard or two. Bama's just rushing 4, but again, DeLance, predictable person to get beat. It's unfortunate for him. I'm sure he's trying as hard as he possibly can, but another game on film with DeLance getting beat for a crucial sack, crucial fumble, crucial play. He's been one of the worst right tackles in the SEC all season long. Continues to be a starter. It just adds to some of the baffling personnel decisions that Florida employs on a week-to-week basis, seemingly with no logical or film-based reason. In absence of evidence, it's hard to keep marching people out there. Florida holds serve, essentially only giving up 3 points, allowing it to be a 2-score game, not a 3-score game. Now we're back on offense. It's 2nd down and 4. DeLance, of course, still in the game. Why change him out when you have another offensive line combination that's been much better? Just keep him in there. Roll the dice. See what happens next. Florida's going to run a really nice play here. Again, taking advantage of all of the things that Florida has been doing all season long. Here's Grimes. But what do we said about Grimes all year? Well, Grimes is going to draw the attention of safeties. He's the only player on Florida that's going to draw the attention of a safety over Kyle Pitts. And that's really, really important. Again, I can't say enough about Grimes. I think he's often really unheralded this year because if you can't see the All-22 camera, you often have no idea how teams are covering him. So we're going to see Pitts release vertically, and he's first. So notice he's ahead. Grimes is going to release vertically and first, so he is ahead of Pitts, who's here on the inside. That's important because the safety is going to mirror the deepest route. So he is actually shading over to Grimes' side. Pitts purposely stuttering here. Take a look, stuttering like he potentially is going to run an in route or move somewhere else. The timing of this is absolutely perfect. Nice protection here. Nice job by DeLance. Good job. Take a look. See, sometimes he can do it. There it is. Nice pocket. That's important. There it is. And because here's the safety, and that's the key. Now, you can't see him, but on the All-22, the reason he's not on top of this pass is because he was shadowed over to Grimes' side. So really nice work putting Tony, Grimes, and Pitts all on the same side of the field, engineering this post route. Basically, it becomes a one-on-one matchup since you can take the safety away. And this is an absolutely great pass, again by Trask, right on time, right in the window. Safety comes over, makes a hit. I'll say it once again, if you're looking at Trask's NFL future, this safety is going to get there just that much faster. This ball should have a little bit more velocity on it in the NFL game. It's very possible that Trask will do that when he's in the NFL. Look, a lot of playing quarterback is doing what you need to do at the level you're at. Put this ball in there at the right pace. We'll see what happens. Either way, great hands by Pitts. It's why he's the best tight end Florida has ever had in the collegiate ranks, and really an all-timer as far as college football is concerned. Excellent play, excellent catch, excellent route, great play design, checking all the boxes there for an offensive play in a game of this magnitude. 3rd and 9 for Florida, now 8:14. This is the biggest play of the game to date. Florida does not score here. They're in trouble. We're going to motion again to the four wide receiver set, and that is going to leave Florida man-to-man with a single high safety up top. Now, this is Bama's preferred defense. They're going back to it here on 3rd and 9. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to play man. They're going to actually zone this side over here, but essentially you get the idea. They're going to play a matchup zone and then man off of the route combinations with a single high safety. This is Bama's preferred 3rd down defense. They're going to do this most of the time, and that's going to allow Pitts to play one-on-one. So we're going to call that some hubris, so to speak. Pitts here is going to do what he does, take a few outside steps, get to the inside, and basically just get held and mauled and then tackled after the play, and that's going to be a 1st down, as all DBs do. How could I possibly have done anything? How could you call this? How could you throw this flag? Definitely a penalty, but Florida will take this huge play in the game. Again, great matchup. Trask gets up pre-snap, sees what he sees, confirms it post-snap, puts the ball on Pitts, and then we get a 1st down. So Florida converts that 3rd and 9 and faces a 3rd and 10 just a little bit later. Will Bama change this up? No, they will not. Take a look at this. We're going to line up and cover one man. Cover one man again. That's not there. That's what I meant. And then there's your free safety in the middle. This is going to allow Kyle Pitts, again, the favorite target, of course, Trask, to operate one-on-one here. Not only is he operating one-on-one there, but this defender is taking very curiously outside leverage. He does have safety help deep in the middle of the field, but this is only 3rd down and 10, not 3rd down and 20. That gives Pitts and Florida their preferred route. And again, Bama's going to bring pressure. Kyle Trask, excellent when blitzed, especially if you're going to give him this route. In the past, teams have been doing a much more diligent job of taking away this throw, and the pressure would then get there, especially in the game against Tennessee. They're going to bring the pressure, but again, Trask gets to throw right where the pressure comes from. High-level quarterbacking, that's where they vacate, that's where you throw to his favorite target. Ball's on time, hits him right in the hands. Pitts, of course, does what he does, off to the races, down on the 1-yard line. Again, one more time. Pre-snap, cover one man with pressure from Bama, their preferred scheme. A lot of hubris here not to give more attention to Pitts. There's just no way any team has stopped this all year long. And the reason to think you would as well. Bama rolls the dice and gets burned by Florida, and Pitts, just excellent play yet again. Great timing, great play, great work by Florida, taking advantage of what the defense is giving them. Thanks to an extremely fortuitous offside penalty on Alabama, which they were definitely offsides. In fact, they were making contact with Florida's receiver before the snap. We're alive on 2nd and goal, still down 2 scores. And this is an encouraging note for Florida's offense. Motioning Tony has become the meta on the goal line, which makes sense because the defender will always account for him, sometimes two. In this case, Bama is expecting run. And this is something very encouraging for Florida. Now we have Pearson. So Florida's expecting Bama to expect run. They're bringing in their hammer at running back, something we've wanted to see in these situations when a team's expecting it. And then we have a fullback going into the I formation under center. Nice work by Dan Mullen. Of course, he's not actually a fullback, right? That's a tight end, that's zipper. But either way, we're playing an I formation. It's a nice look to be able to be multiple on offense. You're just not going to be a spread team, just not a finesse team. Let's play some power against Alabama, some traditional power football. Pierce takes it in for the touchdown. A very encouraging sign for Florida. Again, we did not run the ball well at all, but when we needed to in certain spots, we were able to do so, and that is what led to Florida's success. Bama scores again, pushing this lead back out to 2 scores. Florida down with 4:59 left. This is a 2-minute drill situation. Florida needs to score with 2 minutes or more remaining, and they need to maintain all of their timeouts, in theory, for the highest expected value of at least competing and winning this football game. So if you're looking at EV, taking risk, taking reward, taking probability, do what's best. Florida needs to be driving fast. Because of that, Florida should expect Alabama to play a bit more passive, trading time off the clock for some short yardage gains. Bama going to stay in their 3 down front, which they did for most of the second half, employing an extra pass defender, playing a lot more dime than they did in the first half, or staying nickel with the extra defender there as well. Regardless, Florida wisely going to recognize that they're going to give them these easy throws. We're going to take it here to Tony, and Tony's going to pick up 7 or 8 yards. I like those plays, especially in those situations. Get the offense with the pressure on, moving in the right direction. There's still plenty of time left, rather than just coming out and trying to chunk yardage right away. So good understanding of the situation by Florida. 1st and 10 for Florida, same possession. We're going to motion Tony across. There it is. He's going to be shadowed as he was most of the game. And on this particular play, Trask actually going to make the wrong decision here. Again, Florida loading it up. Grimes, Pitts, and Toney putting max pressure on that side of Bama's defense. This ball should go to Toney. You can't see him off your screen. He's completely wide open, and the defender guarding him bailed out. That would have been the right read. Pitts is basically triple bracket covered, which is where Trask's going to go. He should have come off this read and looked at Toney, but Trask's going to do what he does and put an absolutely great ball in here, and Pitts is going to get held. That's going to work out. But again, this is not where you wanted this football to go. Toney, who you can see right here, was entirely unguarded because he actually just bailed. They bailed deep. They bailed deep to prevent against any kind of deep chunk play here. Toney was the right one. Trask misses it, but makes a really accurate and good throw to Pitts, who gets held, so Florida converts another first down. 2nd and 10 for Florida. At this point in time, Florida knows Bama is overloading these deeper routes. There's 3-on-2 on this side, although you can't see it. There's a safety off your screen. Same thing here, 3-on-2 on this side. So let's take our 5th eligible option here, Naquan. Little fake play action, which I like. This is a linebacker assigned to him. I like that. Make him step in some, make him respect the run. Buy yourself that little extra spacing. It does. And this is a really nice play design, knowing that Alabama is going to clear out with these vertical routes, which is exactly what they do. That's going to let Naquan operate one-on-one. He's going to engage and then get off of that little shed block there. That's an easy pickup for a first down. Naquan's been an excellent running back in all facets of the game this season. That's an excellent play call by Florida in that situation, and a nice pickup for a first down. Florida now really up against it with 2:13 left. In my opinion, they started to take too much time off the clock moving down the field. Florida needs to score, and they need to score quickly. Florida's already burnt a timeout, which you wish they wouldn't have burnt. Burning that timeout was not that big of a deal, but you definitely can't lose this second one. You've got to keep that second one. That's the most important resource of the game right now. You just cannot afford to lose it, or it takes your expected value of winning basically down to 0. So you got to save that timeout, and you got to score, because if you keep taking time off the clock, eventually you're going to face only an onside kick option. Florida going to run a really nice play here. We're an empty Bama, of course, expecting pass. Again, Bama has been bringing pressure. It's not working. So now they're going to drop 8, right? They're trying everything. This is one thing you want to see your defense do, is try everything. Don't just end the game doing the same things over and over again. Bama certainly tried everything except for the things that I think had worked best against Florida on film, which was, rather curious. But hey, we are happy for that. You're going to get Pitts here. He's going to take an outside release, basically just to go fade route. And you're going to see Alabama here pattern matching across the board. This is a matchup zone. And here you go. Anytime you see a handout, he's going to call this here. He's going to say that's a release. Take a look. You can't see him. He's going to go off your screen, but that's going to be a switch. Okay, pick this up here, and I'm going to pick this up here. So they're switching those off. Same thing is going on down here at the bottom of your screen. You can see a hand there. He's telling him, switch this off to there. I'm going to drop back here. So they are pattern matching. Florida is running a really nice set of routes here to beat this. We talked about in the podcast, and we talked about in the preview, Florida needing to run routes to beat pattern matching. This looks like it's a 1-on-3. It's really just a 1-on-1. It's a great play by Florida to take a shot there. They needed to score. Good recognition. They need to score in this situation. Obviously, phenomenal work by Pitts. Great ball by Trask. Florida flashing all of its offensive power here. And now we can take a look at what this looks like. Again, Bama going to drop 8. They're still going to stay tight in these windows, paired against these slants or these digs. And Florida's going to send some pattern matching routes. So here we go. Florida knows if Grimes goes in, that they're going to sink this corner back. Pitts, however, is already too far away for Surtain to help. That's basically leaving them one-on-one. Safety is on the inside of the hash pre-snap, which Trask knows for sure. There he is. Read the safety. As long as he stays there, he has the throw outside the numbers. He knows that for sure. He just needs to confirm this. The only person who can make a hero play is Surtain. They wound up running this route just long enough to hold him down on the switch off, and that is going to allow Trask to take this one-on-one shot. As a bonus, you can see Toney is running right here on a vertical up the middle of the field, which Trask could have hit as well, and in fact, you could argue is the best option on this play. But when you've got Pitts one-on-one and you know there's no help, you're going to take that shot all day long. That's the shot that he does take. Pitts wins this battle. Perfectly thrown 50-50 ball here. Only where Pitts can catch it. High enough, far enough. No one else can help. That's just great football, great recognition of what Bama's going to do. And again, a culmination of a season's worth of skill. Pre-snap read, post-snap read. understanding what Bama likes to do, just a culmination of a lot of good things on that play, and that puts Florida right within striking distance. Unfortunately for Florida, as we all know, they are then going to call a timeout in order to try to get a 2-point conversion. That's going to doom their expected value. Again, we talked about it at length in the podcast, although going for 2 is certainly fine and, in fact, mathematically the best idea when you're down 14. It is not the right idea if you're going to burn a timeout. That timeout was the most important thing, far more important than going for 2. That really doomed Florida, and it doomed Trask and all the rest of us watching to a fate where he was not going to be able to have the ball in his hands with enough time to do anything about it. That is a sad and unfortunate ending for Florida, which we're going to show you here in a second. That did not have to be, in my opinion, if they had just saved that timeout. Here is that fateful conversion that Florida earned with a pass interference call earlier, but a timeout before. Now we have 1 timeout left. Again, if Florida has 2 timeouts left, they kick off, assuming they can stop Alabama. They get the ball back with 1 minute and 15 seconds or so, which would have been ideal. Not going to happen here. I want to show you this play. This is, again, a culmination of all of Trask's ability to pass the ball well. Bama is playing what looks to be aggressive against the run here. So they're playing a one-on-one versus Pitts. And then Florida, and then it goes to the really unbalanced formation here with 4 on this side, and they're playing 4-on-4. So they're not plus numbering this. However, the key here is this. Take a look at what happens. See what his responsibility is. Trask is going to open up just for a second. That's all it takes. Just look like you're going to throw the ball for just a quarter of a second. Whoop! And that's going to slide him across to help against any in-breaking route here. Excellent play design by Florida. It's subtle, but that clears him out. There he goes. He's now out of the play. We now have this window. There it is. Florida wins that battle and gets the 2-point conversion. Now, again, this 2-point conversion means nothing if you cannot get the ball back with enough time to score again. It would have been far better for Florida simply to have just taken a delay of game and then kick the extra point. Of course, it would have been optimal for Florida to have known they were trying to score, know they wanted to go for 2, to have had a 2-point play ready ahead of time, score the touchdown, and then gone for 2 without wasting any time, and then having to call a timeout because they were indecisive. Again, much more coverage on that on the podcast, but that's going to leave Florida getting the ball back here with very little time left. This is going to be the end of the SEC championship game for Florida's offense and for Florida. This is a really nice play by Alabama. So although, again, Florida's in a hopeless situation here, right, on their own 12-yard line, this is not where you want to be. You're down 6, which is great. You got a point. You're down 6. How are you going to get a touchdown? Again, this could be 1 minute and 15 or so. That's what you wanted. Dan Mullen admitted the mistake afterwards. That's good accountability. Unfortunately, too little, too late. And again, it's something you got to know. You got to do. Of course, always forgiveness should be offered. Forgiveness is there. Certainly all Gator fans will forgive you, Dan, Coach Mullen. We forgive you. But at the same point in time, you can't make those mistakes. So both things can be true. Forgiveness and grace can be offered, but as an analyst, you just can never make that mistake as a coach with that much experience. You cannot doom your players to such a fate in that situation. And this is the fate Florida faces, and this is a very nice play by Alabama. Alabama not content to do what a lot of teams would do, which is just rush 3 and sit back here and be safe. They are going to design a play for this. Take a look at what happens. We're going to have our free linebacker. He's roaming over here like he's going to slide off to the right? Because that's Malik's job, is to protect against that. He's going to slide himself off to the right. Look at what he does. He basically then has hidden himself. There he is, and he's going to slide right now to where the quarterbacks would like to step up in these plays, which is what they're typically going to want to do, to drive down here and try to complete at least a 20 or 30-yard pass to put themselves in Hail Mary range. And instead he walks right in to the oncoming defender. So even at the end of the game, details matter. And perhaps that's the biggest problem for Florida right now, and the reason they are not a championship team. Details, whether it's personnel, who's on your coaching staff, what plays you're running and when, how you're going to game plan for each opponent, or how you're simply going to handle situations like timeouts and when to use them. You have to get these things right. And although Alabama did not play their best game here coaching-wise, when the game's on the line, the details matter. They're not just going to roll over and give you something vanilla. They have a play designed exactly for this situation. Again, details matter. Florida, heck of a game, heck of a season offensively. Obviously one that I will never forget, one that I'm sure most of you will never forget. So many highs. It was such a joy to break down all of these players on offense. The playmakers were so fantastic. Obviously, Kyle Trask, one of the best quarterbacks I've watched on film. Timing, accuracy, presence, dealing with challenges. He wasn't able to just stand back there behind a perfect offensive line, dealing with defenses throwing every single thing at him in every game, every week, facing a variety of challenges. It will be very sad not to break these guys down anymore. This is the last game they obviously all will ever have played together, and hopefully will live here on this YouTube channel forever on this analysis as a way for all of us to celebrate and appreciate the greatness that these guys gave to the University of Florida. They gave their all in this game. They deserved a better fate. They certainly deserved a chance to be able to tie or win the game at the end. Didn't get it. Either way, hats off to them. Stellar season. Hats off to Dan Mullen for so many things he accomplished this season as an offensive coordinator, especially with progressing the offense, vertical attack. Everything we've seen were not things that Coach Mullen has done in the past, per se. So clearly he's shown a willingness to change. That's going to be the story for Florida's offseason. There are still changes that need to be made if Florida wants to become a championship caliber team. But again, this offense, as good as it gets when it comes to execution for many parts of the season. And in this game against Alabama, put out really a historically good performance against a defense that was definitely formidable. As always, I'm James for the Gator Nation Football Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this content. And if you want to see more breakdown videos in the offseason, send me ideas, send me feedback, let me know what it is that you may want me to do. Until next time, go Gators.